Alright, what's up everyone? Back once again for another Twitch stream drawing recap. Now, so today I'm actually starting a new series. So before I did the 9 icons of horror. It's mainly for Halloween, but I was super late, so just forget about that for a second. So now I've got a new series, which I'm going to call, from now on, I'm going to call them 9 styles. So this is 9 styles of metal. And what I wanted to do was sort of recreate sort of cult classic metal album covers. Now obviously there's so many really good album covers that are awesome already. You know, Ed Repka is all time. So many people, so many great albums. But then I kind of thought it would be interesting to take a different approach on some of them. Obviously you can't improve on perfect, but just sort of like as an exercise for me to sort of draw something from a reference, but also see how I would change it up or see how I would render it. It's a bit of fun, kind of cool, and it's like a little bit of a chance to kind of like explore, I don't know, just different techniques, even like just different genres, and then using different reference material as well, from photos or from other illustrations and stuff like that. So today I'm actually doing, the first one is Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera. Super iconic cover. It's one of those images that's just, there's not really much like it out there, you know what I mean? It's especially as an album cover, you know, of a band that was already big, and then to have like such a confronting, insane kind of cover. So I thought that'd be kind of cool. Shout out to my man Tommy who suggested it, because he's a mad Pantera fan. So it's sort of like a nice little prompt there. So yeah, you can see that I'm trying to keep it pretty straightforward. Obviously the album cover is a dude getting punched in the face, and that's all it is, which in itself is kind of awesome. It's so confronting, so powerful, and then literally and figuratively. And so I wanted to keep it pretty true. I had thought about drawing a completely different fist, but then I felt like there wasn't much point to it, you know what I mean? It was already part of the way the angle of the hand, the way it's hitting the face, is part of what makes that image so confronting. So I drew from the reference directly. I didn't trace it because I wanted to still have a little bit of my hand in it, but obviously it was pretty accurate. I did sort of change the layout composition a little bit. You can see I'm tweaking things, or I'm making the head and the hand a bit bigger, you know, sort of added a bit more muscle tone. There's not a whole lot going on in the bottom left hand corner. It's really just your shirt, so just sort of making sure that everything fit. I had a logo in there, and you can see there the text and stuff as well, to make sure it's sort of still working. So there, that's the sketch. You can see now it's onto so I did the sketch and then just pencil, now it's onto ink, so it looks like. So while I'm doing that, check that out. Here's some facts about Vulgar Display of Power. So it was released on the 25th of February 1992, a little while ago. It peaked at number 44 on the Billboard 200 chart, and it stayed up there for a long time as well. I don't have the actual number, but it stayed up there for ages, which is pretty crazy for like a metal band. It's their best selling album to date, even though I feel like Cowboys from Hell is a more iconic sort of name. That this album is still apparently the best selling. It sold well over 2 million copies. The title of the movie actually is a line from the movie The Exorcist, which I had no idea about. So it's sort of like paraphrase, it's not an exact line, but that's kind of cool, because it's sort of, you know, it's a different kind of reference to what you expect for the image, or for the style of music and stuff that they play. Obviously they play metal, but it's not super scary, dark, talking about ghosts and demons and stuff. So that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. It was recorded at a studio that's actually owned by Dimebag and Vinny's dad. So they sort of had a bit of a free run with it. Apparently in the middle of recording it, they had a little break and they went to go to Russia to play shows to support Metallica and AC/DC. I mean, if Metallica and AC/DC say, hey, you want to come play a show, you're not going to say no, especially when your dad owns a studio and you can just do it whenever you want, you know what I mean? So pretty good deal for them. So okay, I guess we've got to talk about the subject matter, because it's one of those things as well. I think there's a lot of these kind of like urban myths or urban legends and stuff going around about like, oh, this guy got paid. Apparently Vinny Paul actually said that he got paid $10 per punch and he got punched 30 times, which equals $300, which is nowhere near enough money to get punched in the face 30 times. I would want like $3,000. You know what I mean? $100 a punch. That sounds better. All right, that's I've heard that. Many people have probably heard that, but apparently the photographer said it isn't true, and he wasn't actually punched or paid per punch. So I'm guessing he just sort of put his fist on the guy's face and pushed it, and then they took a photo. So it was not really get impact, which it sort of takes away a little bit from the mystique. But I guess that kind of thing where it's like a urban myth, urban legend, oh, he got paid this, it's the kind of thing you talk about at school and stuff, probably added to the kind of the mythos of the impact of that album. So you can see there, I'm sort of tracing the logo, and the logo was sort of already distressed, so I wanted to kind of capture that, but I actually went kind of too far with it, and I had to sort of bring it back a little bit because I felt like it wasn't as readable. And you can also see it conflicts with the white of the highlight on the face and arm as it goes over it. So on the actual album cover, there's a little bit of a black outline kind of shadow thing. And I originally had, like you can sort of see there, like I just sort of more did like an outline as opposed to a shadow, and it just looked too busy. So you can see I'll tweak it a little bit later on. You can also see going along with the color palette that I want to use this time, which is black and white, and then 2 tones of grey and red as a highlight color. I add a little bit more red in the teeth, on the knuckles and stuff, just to sort of add a little bit of interest there, help it tie in with the text at the bottom. So what I ended up doing with the logo was coming back in and putting a little shadow underneath it and just offsetting it, so it didn't look as busy around the top area. You can see as it go along. So a little bit more trivia. The song "Walk" that everyone knows, don't make me do it. Apparently it was just one of those things that Dime was just mucking around with, that like a sound check to a show. They're like, that's pretty cool, and it just morphed into a song. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're just mucking around, you're just not even thinking, you're half thinking, looking at something else, talking to someone, and you play a riff, and then you're like, hold up, that's kind of cool. It's a little bit different. It's not really something I made on purpose. And then you can expand it into a song, and then lyrics, Phil's voice obviously super hard. Vinny's like killing it, so it's just turned into that classic. And the lyrics are sort of about Pantera going back to their sort of hometown after they kind of made it big, and people treating them differently because they think that they got big heads, and they're just like, no man, we've just been out playing shows, doing what we do, and people are like, oh, you think you're big time now? So it's just like, no, you got no respect, just walk on. Which is interesting because that seems to be a theme in sort of music, more like rock kind of music. There's a Lynyrd Skynyrd song like that. It's like, if you're gonna talk to me like that and treat me differently or whatever, then obviously not my friend. Spoiler alert, I love Lynyrd Skynyrd. So yeah, that's kind of cool. From a little sound check riff to like a cult song that everyone knows. It's probably one of their biggest songs, if not the biggest song. So now pretty much in the end game with the art, going through just tweaking things. I tried a couple of different approaches with some brushes. I wanted to keep it pretty sort of like energetic, give a bit of like a movement to the fist coming towards the face, but I didn't want to make it too sort of like obvious that that's what was happening. You could tell as well, like the 2 tones of grey as well as the black and white. helped to give it a little bit more of a rendered feel. I had a couple of different tones to give a bit more of a overall kind of thing, which helps when you're doing something from a photo. Oh yeah, so there we go. That's a finished product. Turned out pretty good. People seem to like it. Really stoked with the reception so far. It seems like this is something that people appreciate, and it's kind of cool for me because, you know, I'm doing something that's related to things that people like, and so it's kind of cool that people that already like that stuff like what I'm doing. Because if you do something, you're like, hey, I'll do it like this, and people are like, oh, leave it alone, it's a classic. And you're like, oh crap. You know what I mean? Obviously I can't help myself. I've got to keep going back in, keep tweaking things. Here's where I put the shadow. Oh, see, 100 times better. Alright, so here we go. This is the final album cover redraw for Pantera's classic album, Vulgar Display of Power. It's pretty strong. It's pretty straightforward and pretty accurate to the album. But you know, I tried to add a little bit of my thing in there for old time's sake. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it out. I'm gonna do 2 of these a week, and I've already done the art for the second one. I'm not gonna say what it is here. You'll just have to see, but the video will go up pretty soon. So thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace.